And yesterday we had discussed about content, connectivity concept, and one of its applications we had discussed in the last lecture. Okay, two types of connectivity is that edge and vertex connectivity. Clear? And then after separable graph definitions, we had discussed if vertex connectivity is only one of such graph, then it is known as a separable graph. Clear? And then after we had discussed this application of connectivity, and by using that we can check that which graph is a better connected graph. Clear? So graph contain the more vertex and edge connectivity. This graph is always a better connected graph. Okay, this situation, this network is always a better connected network. Clear? And then after we discuss this graph also. And now let's start the last topic of this unit. And today we'll finish this unit also. Isomorphic graph. Okay, means we compare the two graphs and we'll check that they are essentially same or not. Means they are isomorphic or not. Okay, we have to just compare this both graph. The number of vertex will be same, number of edge will be same, but structure will be different. Okay, and we have to check that they are isomorphic or not. Clear? So what is meaning of isomorphic graph? Let us first discuss a definition. That is a general definition, and second is mathematical definition is given that. Okay, so what is meaning of isomorphic graph? That is given in these two paragraphs. When we say graph are essentially same, when we say the graph are essentially same, means they are differ only where they are drawn. Means the structure will be different. That clear? One of the figure is include a 5 vertex. Clear? We consider one square, and then after draw this square by another way. Clear? So structure will be different that, but now we have to check they are isomorphic or not. What does it mean? Which graph we can consider two different shapes. Clear? If I consider this graph, it is one of the square here. Okay, by using this 4 vertex, and now I redraw this shape. मुझे इसको redraw करना है, ठीक है, by using the different shape. So I consider this shape also. That is also include a 4 vertex. And 4 edges, so they are essentially same. Clear? But the structure is a different. Okay, geometrical representation is a different. So now you have to check that they are isomorphic or not. Clear? Means they are essentially same or not. तो दोनों सेम है या नहीं वो आपको चेक करें. Okay, that is meaning of isomorphic. So that is one example is given that, okay, with the 4 vertex, and now there should be the one-to-one correspond between this vertices of the graph, and a one-to-one correspond between their edges, such that corresponding vertex are incidence with the corresponding edges, and the proper terms for essentially the same is known as an isomorphic graph. So what does it mean? You have to check the one-to-one correspond between these two graphs. Clear? That is one graph. That is say G1, let us say, and that is another graph, and let us say it is a G2. Clear? So we have to check the one-to-one correspond between the vertex. Here that is vertex A, that is a B, it is a C, and D. There are 4 vertex mentioned in the G1, and you have to check that G2 is isomorphic to G1. How we can check they are isomorphic to the G1? So you have to check the one-to-one correspond between the vertex set of the both the graph, and as well as one-to-one correspond between each set of the both the graph. So what is meaning of one-to-one correspond? One-to-one form. So what does it mean? Consider one vertex from the first graph A. Clear? And find out its image to the second graph. So how we can check image to the second graph? Clear? For that you consider the degree of that vertex. So what is the degree of A? That is a 2. So find out such place in the second graph whose vertex has degree 2. Clear? And that place you can consider as the image of A. Okay? So let's put one of the image of A to the second graph. Okay? All the vertex have degree 2 to the second graph. Okay? That is a graph G2. So let's consider this is a place A. Okay? And let us say it is a dash. That is image of A to the second graph. Okay? You have to check one-to-one correspond to the vertex as well as the edges. Clear? So now we first check one-to-one correspond to the vertex. So consider any of the vertex of the first graph. कोई भी vertex आप start कर सकते हो. ठीक है? So let's start with the A. A से हमने start किया. So I have to check it one-to-one correspond to the second graph. So what does it mean? You have to check it image. उसकी image आपको second graph में find करनी. how we can consider image of A? So for that, consider degree of that vertex. So degree of A is a 2. So find out such place, okay, such vertex to the second graph whose degree 2. Okay, so all the 4 vertexes degree 2. You can consider any vertex as the image of A. Okay, and I consider this place as the image of A, that is a A dash. Clear? That is a A dash. Now for age correspond. Okay, 1 to 1 correspond to the age. What does it mean? So age incidence with the B. Okay, A is connected with the B and A is connected with the C. Okay, A is connected with the D. Okay, A is connected with the B, means there is an age between A to B and there is age between A to D. And that is a place of A dash and that is image of A. So from the image of A, it should be there 2 vertex whose degree 2. Okay, and then you can say it is image of B and D dash. Clear? Which also has a degree 2. Okay, here A is connected with B and C, both have degree 2. So to find such place from the A dash, okay, which is a incidence, which is adjacent with the degree 2. Clear? So which 2 vertexes degree 2 from A dash? That is this vertex. Okay, let us say it is a B dash, and this vertex, let us say it is a D dash. Clear? So these are the image of B dash and D dash. Clear? There is age between A and B in the first graph, so there is also age between A dash and B dash to the second graph. Okay, there is age between A and D in the first graph, so the second graph also should contain age between A dash and D dash. Clear? So that is known as a 1 to 1 to the age. Okay, 1 to 1 corresponds to the age. Now the last vertex, that is incidence with B and D, and that is a place C here. Okay, so find such place in the second graph. Okay, this place should be exist here in the second graph, which is connected with the B dash and D dash, and such vertex whose degree should be 2. Clear? So here such vertexes exist in the second graph, and we can consider this graph, this vertex as a C dash. Clear? So this graph content, this both graph content 1 to 1 correspond to the vertex, and it has also 1 to 1 correspond to the age. Clear? So this both graph are known as a isomorphic graph. Okay? We have always a 2 graph will be there in the questions, and you have to verify that they are isomorphic or not. So how we can verify they are isomorphic or not? For that you have to check the 1 to 1 correspond between these 2 graphs. Okay, 1 to 1 to the vertex, 1 to 1 correspond to the age. Consider first graph. Okay, mention the vertex notation if it is not given, and start to the mapping. Okay, start to find out the image of the all the vertex to the second graph. Okay, and it should be 1 to 1 correspond. Okay, A has a degree 2, where radius has also should be degree 2. A is connected with the B and D here. So in the second graph, A dash should connect the B dash and D dash. This vertex should also the degree 2 here. Clear? This vertex should also the degree 2. And then after B and D is connected with the C here, okay, with the C vertex. So here B dash and D dash should connect the one vertex with degree 2. Okay, and that place you can say as a C dash. Clear? So this both graph are essentially same. Okay, they are essentially same, but structure is different. Clear? So they are known as a isomorphic graph. Okay. And now this is mathematical form definition that, okay, a given graph G1, this graph G1 is not a function. We involve the V1 and E1 set, and G2 has V2 and E2 set, and we say that G1 is isomorphic to G2. G1 is isomorphic to G2. If there is a 1-to-1 function f from V1 onto V2 such that there is an age between U and V in the G1, there is an age between U and V in the G1, then there is an age between f of U and f of V in the G2. Okay, here there is age between A and B in the G1, so here there should be age between A dash and B dash in the G2. Okay, there is a U and V. There is a U and V. There is age between U and V. So here there is the image of U means f of U, and image of B means f of V. So there should be an age between f of U and f of V in the G2. Clear? F of U means image of the U. That is the U and V are the two vertex. Okay, and there is age between U and V in the G1. So what we have to verify that there should be an age between f of u and f of v in the G2 means image of u and image of v means f of u and f of v. So there should be edge exist in between the image of a dash and b dash. Okay, image of a and b. Clear? If it is true for all such pair, okay, if it is a correct for all such pair, hence these two graphs are isomorphic. Clear? Not only for u and v two vertex. You have to consider all the vertex for this graph. Okay. So here there is a edge between B and C. So here it is also edge between B dash and C dash. Okay. Here it is edge between D and C in this graph. So here it is also exists edge between C dash and D dash. Clear? So this conditions you have to verify for all such pair. Okay. And if image of all such pair is exists to the second graph, then it is a true. If image is not exist, then it is not isomorphic graph. Okay, so we have to check the one-to-one correspond, and there is also some simple conditions we have. First, we'll also apply that, clear, and then after we'll apply the one-to-one correspond case, clear. So, is it clear the definitions? Any doubt? Clear. So here F is known as isomorphic from G1 to G2, clear. And now one example is given that three graphs is mentioned. Take a simple graph is that with three vertex only, and here we'll check the which two pair is isomorphic graph. Okay, G1 and G2 is isomorphic. Then after G2 and G3, and then we compare G1 and G3 also. Clear? We'll check that which pair is isomorphic graph. Okay, so first check G1 and G2. Is it the isomorphic graph? G1 and G2. Okay, just structure is different. Okay. Rest of the part is same. Number of vertex are equal, number of edges are same. Clear? And now we'll check the one-to-one correspond. Okay? So how we can check one-to-one correspond? So for that you have to find the image of each vertex of the first graph to the second graph. Okay? Image of each vertex to the first graph to the second graph. So let's mention the notation here. That is a, it is a B, and it is a C. Clear? So first we'll find image of A to the G2. Okay? So what is the degree of A? That is a 1. So find such place in the second graph whose degree is a 1. Okay. So there are two places we have, two vertex we have whose degree is a 1. So let us say it is a dash. Okay. This vertex will say image of A. Now A is incidence with A is adjacent with B in the G1 whose degree is a 2. Okay. B ki degree kya hai? There is a 2 that. So find such place to the second graph which vertex should be adjacent with A dash, and its degree should be the 2. Okay, then we can say this image of a B. Okay, so here it is one vertex is exist in the second graph, the degree is a 2. We can say it is an image of B. Clear? And B is connected with the C in the first graph, whose degree is a 1. So find such place in the second graph which should be adjacent with B dash. Okay, and such vertex should be degree 1. Okay, so here it is also exists. Okay. B dash is connected with this vertex and a degree is kya hai? That is a 1. Clear? So we can say this vertex is the image of C, and that is C dash. So that is called one-to-one correspond between these two graphs. Okay. So they both are isomorphic graph. Okay. Now compare G1 to the G3. Is there isomorphic graph? Clear? Let's find one-to-one correspond. Clear? Let's check one-to-one correspond way. So first find image of A, and here it is exists. This degree is A, so you can say is image of A. So can we find image of B? That is not correct. Okay, we cannot find image of B. Why it is not possible? Because A is connected with the B. Okay, A is connected with the B in the first graph, whose degree is a 2, and here there is no such vertex in the G3 graph. Okay, which is adjacent with A dash and whose degree is a 2. Clear? It is not exist. So what does it mean? G1 and G3 are not isomorphic graph. Okay? G1 and G3 are not isomorphic graph. Okay? And now check it for G2 and G3. That is same result. Okay? That is also not isomorphic graph. Clear? So here in this graph, G1 and G2 figure consist two edges. Okay? Incidence with A and common vertex, and they drawn differently, but the graph are same. So G1 and G2 are isomorphic graph. Okay, and the graph G3 indicates the that this graph has only one edges and G3 different from G1 and G2, and in the essential way it is not isomorphic to G1 and G2. Okay, G3 जो है it is not isomorphic to G1 and G3 is not isomorphic to G2 also. Clear? Only G1 and G2 is isomorphic here. Clear? That is one simple example. Let us add some more example. Second one. G1 and G2, okay, both contain the 4 vertex and 4 edges. ठीक है, दोनों में 4 vertex है, 4 edge है. Now let us find the image of each vertex. Okay, let us check 1 to 1 correspond to the each vertex. Clear? So mention the notation that is A, it is a B, C, and D. Okay, and let's find image of A. Image of A. So what is the degree of A? That is a 2. So find such place to the second graph whose degree is a 2. Okay. So here that is a 2 vertex we have whose degree is a 2. Clear? So anyone you can say as a dash. Clear? Anyone you can say as a dash. And now A is adjacent with B and D in the first graph. दोनों की degree क्या है? That is a 2. Clear? A is adjacent with B and D in the first graph. So find such place. Okay, find such 2 vertex to the second graph, which should be adjacent to the A dash, and such vertex should be degree 2. Is it possible to the second graph? Okay, if we say that is a B dash, so here we cannot say that is a D dash. Clear? Because यहाँ पे D की degree क्या है? That is a 2 only, and here degree of D is a 3. Clear? Means we cannot find image of all the vertex to the second graph. ठीक है? Image of all the vertex to the second graph. Both contain the same number of vertex, same number of edges, but structure are different. Clear? In which case they are essentially same. In which case they are isomorphic graph. If they are 1 to 1 correspond between the vertex and between the edges, then in that case it will be the isomorphic graph. So here it is not a 1 to 1 correspond between the vertex. Okay? Because we cannot find image of D to the second graph. Okay. Similarly, we cannot find image of C to the second graph also. Okay. So the 2 graphs are not isomorphic. Each graph consists of 4 vertices. Okay, 4 edges. But G2 contain a vertex of degree 1, while G1 has no such vertex. Okay, that also one reason that here you can mention it here. G1 has degree 1. G2 has one vertex degree 1, while in the G1 there is no such vertex with degree 1. Okay. Now third example that you already checked. Okay, that is one example that already verified that they are isomorphic graph. So these graphs are isomorphic and they are 1 to 1 correspond graph with the 4 vertices and 4 edges and same number of degree also. And now some result we have to check in which case we can say they are isomorphic graph. Okay, our general result is we have to check the 1 to 1 correspond. Okay, that will be useful in some more number of vertex case. Clear? But now these are the some simple result we have that we can first verify. Okay, to check they are isomorphic or not. So what is the first result? The number of edges and number of vertex should be equal. Okay, and that always will be same in both the graph. Number of edges means mod of E1 is equal to mod of E2 and mod of E1 is equal to mod of E2. Means number of vertex to the both graph and number of edges to the both graph should be equal. और दोनों same होने चाहिए. ठीक है? If it is not equal, if one graph contains 5 edges and second graph contains only 3 edges, then it is isomorphic. ठीक है? But which graph will verify as isomorphic graph? Okay, this both graph contain same equality. Okay, means both contain same number of edges and vertex. Second condition, graph G1 and G2 must have the same number of region. Okay, that is a region concept, that is unit number 6 part. Okay, there is a block you have to check that. Okay, how many closed walk you can define to this both graph. So region, that is called the region that will discuss in the unit number 6 part. Clear? Next is a graph G1 and G2 must have equal number of loop. If any graph contain the loop there, okay, then it should also include in the second graph there. Okay, so if any both graph contain the same number of loop, and similarly for parallel edges, both graph must have the same number of parallel edges. If the first graph contain parallel edges, then second graph should also involve the parallel edges. Okay, if the second graph is not involve parallel edges, then it is not a isomorphic graph. and there is same number of bridge also. Bridge means some parallel edges form. Okay, bridge between two vertex, that is known as a parallel edges. So now we have some more graph to verify they are isomorphic or not. Okay, first we'll check number of vertex. Okay, then after number of edges, if they are mismatched. Okay, if any data is mismatched, then you can directly say they are not isomorphic graph. If they are equal, okay, then we'll apply the one-to-one correspondence. Okay, so in the first graph we have 7 vertex. In the second graph it is also 7 vertex. ठीक है, दोनों में 7 vertex है. ठीक है. Now check the edges. That is a 3 plus 5, 6, 7. 7 edges to the first graph. Okay, vertex are 7, edges are 7. Okay, here vertex are 7 and edges are, that is a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Both have the same number of vertex and same number of edges. Clear? Now we'll check the one-to-one correspondence. So here notation is already mentioned that you can also modify it if it is required. There is a that is a B, C, D, that is a E, F, and G. Okay, these are the notation for the first graph. And let's find image of A. Okay, A dash. So A has a degree 2. So we'll check one vertex to the second graph. Whose degree should be 2. Okay, we'll check the one vertex to the second graph, whose degree should be 2. Okay, so which possibility is that? Yeah, these two vertex we have degree 2. ठीक है, इसमें दो vertex है जिसकी डिग्री 2 है. We can say any vertex is a dash. ठीक है, let's say it is a dash. And now A is connected with B and E. Okay, A is connected with B and E to the first graph, and both vertex have degree 3. दोनों की डिग्री क्या है? 3 है. ठीक है, तो find such two place to the second graph. Okay, which should be adjacent to the A dash. This both vertex should be adjacent to the A dash, and this both vertex should have the degree 3. Is it possible to the second graph? Can we find such two vertex which should be adjacent with A dash? A dash के साथ दोनों vertex connected होने चाहिए और दोनों की डिग्री क्या होनी चाहिए? Okay, so here we have only one place that whose degree is a 3. Okay, if we say it is a B dash, so here this vertex is also connected with the A dash. So it is not a E dash form. Okay, because E की degree क्या है? There is a P in the first graph, and here it is not exist. Okay, so what does it mean? They are not isomorphic graph. Okay, it is not isomorphic graph. Now for second graph, both contain the 6 vertex. ठीक है, दोनों में 6 vertex है. Clear? Now check edges. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 edges are there. And now let us check it here. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, and 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It contains 11 edges. Okay, 6 from outside and 3 plus 2 from inside. Okay, so it contains 11 edges, so they are not equal. Clear? Means it is not isomorphic graph also. Clear? And you can also apply one-to-one case here. यहाँ पे देखो इस vertex की डिग्री कितनी है? That is a 3 plus 2, 5. Yes, vertex degree 5 है, and here no such place we have which contain the degree 5. Clear? इस ग्राफ में कोई भी ऐसी प्लेस नहीं है जिसकी डिग्री 5 है. ठीक है? Means that will not match with any other vertex to this graph. Clear? So it is not also the isomorphic graph. Okay, so this both pair are isomorphic graph. Okay, and now two more graph. In the first graph, that is a 8 vertex, both have the same vertex. Okay, clear? This first pair we'll check now, and both have same number of edge also. 4 plus 4 plus 4, 12. There is a 4 plus side P4 and the inside 4. That is also 12 edges. Okay, that is a 8 vertex and 12 edges. So they are isomorphic or not? Okay, let's find the image. A, that is a B, C, D. Okay, it is a E, F, G, and H. So let's find image of A to this graph. So degree of A is a 3. So find such place to this graph. The degree should be a 3. Okay. So all the vertex of degree 3. So we can use any place as a dash. Okay. And let us say this vertex is a dash. That is image of A. Clear? Now in the first graph, A is connected with the B, E and D. एक किसके साथ कनेक्टेड है? बी के साथ कनेक्टेड है, ई के साथ कनेक्टेड है और डी के साथ कनेक्टेड है. ठीक है. So find such place to the second graph. Okay, find such three vertex to the second graph. Okay, which three vertex should be connected with A dash, and this three vertex should have degree 3. ठीक है. This three vertex should have degree 3. So here A dash is also connect with this three vertex. ये तीनों के साथ वो connected है. Clear? So we can say it is image of B dash, E dash and D dash. Okay. So let's say this image of B dash, that is image of E dash, and that is a D dash. Clear? These are the image. They are up to this it is correct. Now for next step. We find the image of B, that is we already done here, and now B is connected with A, F and C. B किसके साथ connected है? A के साथ connected है, that you already mapped as a dash. Now we find such two vertex from the B dash. We'll find the two vertex from the B dash, and this vertex should have degree 3. So therefore we can say that is image of F dash and C dash, because दोनों की degree क्या है? F और C की 3. ठीक है? So here this place is a B dash, and this are two vertex. They are connected with the B dash. Okay, this two place they are connected with the B dash. So which vertex we can say as the image of F and image of C? Can we put here C dash? Can you put this above vertex as a C dash? Yeah, it is not a true. Why it is not a true? Because we also consider the remaining connection also. Okay, which remaining connection? यहाँ पे C जो है D के साथ connected है. If I put a C dash here, then after we cannot match C and D dash connected. Okay. If I put C dash here to the above place, then after we cannot find connection of C and D dash after that. Okay. So that is the wrong place for the C dash. Clear? So which will be the right place? That is the below vertex. That will be the place of C dash. क्योंकि यहाँ से आपको directly D के connection मिल जाएगा. ठीक है? D dash is connected with the C dash directly. Clear? So this above place will be the place of F dash. Okay. And here F and E is also connected to the first graph. So F dash and E dash will also connected to the second. That is now matched. Clear? And now remaining two place, that is for H and G. Okay. These are the two remaining. So which will be the place of G and which will be the place of H? C is connected with the G. Clear? C G के साथ connected है. So this place will be the place of G dash, and here this place will be the place of H dash. Okay, so that is the one-to-one correspond between these two graphs. Clear? Image of each vertex should be exist. Okay, image of each vertex should be exist. Okay, it should be the one-to-one correspond to the vertex as well as to the edges. ठीक है, सिर्फ आपको वर्टेक्स की वन टू वन कोरस्पॉन्ड चेक नहीं करने की डिग्री 3 वाला वर्टेक्स मिल गया then it is a suitable place for any vertex. It is not correct. You have to also match the edge concept there. Okay, edge should be also match between these two vertex. ठीक है, एज भी उसके साथ मैच होनी चाहिए. यहाँ पे जी और सी के बीच में एज है तो यहाँ पे जी सी डैश और डी डैश के बीच में एज होनी चाहिए. ठीक है, इफ देयर इज एज बिटवीन डी एंड एच देन द सेकंड ग्राफ शुड आल्सो कंटेन एज बिटवीन डी डैश एंड एच डैश. ओके, if here is edge between E and F to the first graph, so here should also match the edge between E dash and F dash. Clear? Then it is known as a one-to-one correspondence. Clear? Is there any confusion to this graph? Anyone? Okay. Now we can also try it for a second graph. There are 6 vertices given that both have 6 vertices. Clear? And here you can see that they are not isomorphic graph here. Why they are not isomorphic graph? Because see, this vertex is degree 4. Okay, sorry, this vertex degree 4, and here no such vertex we have whose degree is a 4. Clear? So here we cannot find image of this vertex to this graph. ठीक है, इसकी डिग्री 4 है और यहाँ पे कोई भी वर्टेक्स ऐसा नहीं है जिसकी डिग्री 4 है. ठीक है, both have the same number of vertex and same number of edges. ठीक है, दोनों में इक्वालिटी तो है ही. There are 6 vertex and that is a 5, 6, 7, 8 edges are there. Clear? Both have same possibilities that, but they are not isomorphic graph because it has not a one-to-one correspond result between these two. And some more graph is given that. Okay, let's finish it. So we'll finish also the unit there. Okay. Yeah, that is for your practice. You can just write. Clear? A, B, C, D. So which will be the image of A? Should have the degree 3. Yeah, that is, let us say, image of A. Okay, first vertex. Then after image of B. B should be connected with two vertex. One has a degree 2 and second has a degree 3. So can we say this vertex as a, yeah, just 1 minute. We'll first find suitable place for A, and then after we can fix the B and C. Okay, so this place is not a suitable for A. Okay, why it is not suitable for A? क्योंकि यहाँ पे A की डिग्री 3 है and A is connected with the B and C, and B and C has a degree 2. Okay, so find such place to this graph which is a degree 3 and it has a 2 adjacent vertex with degree 2. Is there any place? Is there any place we have that we can consider as an image of A, and then after we can say that B and C is also should be there. Okay, just practice it. We'll discuss its solution in the next time. Okay, just take the screenshot of this both the graph and just try it. They are isomorphic or not. Okay. We'll also add some more graph here, and then after we'll finish this unit in the next lecture.